Peace, light, and love. YouTube. It is Joshua. Um, it's been years since my last post, and Spirit has been guiding me and telling me and yelling at me and pulling me and pushing me and really putting it on my attention, all the way to the point where I have no choice but to get back to posting videos, to see what it is that spirit, what God, what the universe, what the divine um, has for me, what it is that they're saying for me to do with this YouTube channel. Um, again, peace, light, and love to everyone. It has been almost 5 years. In my first video, I was at work in the house. And here it is 5 years later. I am in another house doing work and making the video. So maybe something about being at work and recording these videos when I guess I really shouldn't supposed to be recording videos uh, for YouTube. Um, Something about it, you know, is when I post videos or will record myself. So it's going to be a shorter one because it's my first one in 5 years. I have been dragged to this point by spirit, my angel guides, my ancestors. Oh my gosh, the messages have been coming in, going, saying, Joshua, do this channel. Joshua, do these videos. Joshua, get to it now. So I've been through the lifetime of my last video. My first video ended. That person had to die. A new being had to be birthed forth uh, from the person I used to be. My hair is much shorter than it was back then. The first video, my hair was like right here. It's been cut. Some might have called that a Britney Spears moment. I definitely went through a lot. And so I'm really going to make a short video saying that, you know, as someone who is blessed to have energetic leverage on this planet, as someone who is clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, uh, just about every clair that I come across, hearing about or reading, I experience, which is very scary. I know it can be hard for some to believe that, while other of us will be like, yeah, me too. It's kind of hard to think that, people are just clairvoyant or just clairaudient or something like that. I actually really happen to doze off at work, and there's a lot of energies in this house, and um, I saw some things that some of the people I work with have gone through in their lives. And I'm like, wow, God is really using me. God, God created this vessel that does so much that humans don't believe we do. Um, you know, this body has so many more than five senses. And I'm really like just the vessel. God made me, and God uses me, and God places me, and He has me kind of like travel around. I'm like a traveling doctor, a traveling nurse. God says, Joshua, it's time to go hit there. And everywhere I go, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why. And but I have to make these videos. One thing is that I'm, as a chosen one, I go through things that make life feel like, could this really be real? I try to share with other people, and they're like, is this dude crazy? As someone who has gotten a degree in psychology and licensed as a qualified mental health professional, I know a lot about what qualifies someone as being what people call quote crazy end quote. You know, um, and a lot of times when I tell people about my spiritual experiences, the only person qualified to assess anyone to be crazy or have mental health symptoms is me. So I think God, I definitely know God did that in my purpose because, you know, if I didn't have my background and my degree and my licensing and my experience, I really wouldn't have as strong of a foundation to teach people about the spiritual things that I go through and the spiritual knowledge that I have. And if you want to call it being a witch, if you want to call it being a shaman, if you want to call it being a chosen one, if you want to call it being an empath, if you want to call it, so many different things that, from culture to culture and age to age, people might call, beings with higher vibration, anointed. God has anointed us. God has chosen us. Um, you know, so it has been 5 years. I'm not gonna say how old I am. uh, uh, you can tell me how old you think I am. But so yeah, it's been 5 years. God has told me that I am what I have been looking for. And the voice that I've been wanting to hear say these experiences that I've experienced. Like, what happens when a chosen one walks out the front door? First of all, we don't even have to go out the front door to experience some very just radical experiences. Things like out of movies that people think, only happen when you're in like a sci-fi movie. But the life of a chosen one is a sci-fi movie. Um, I'm going to talk about what happens when someone with the vibration of a witch in 2023, a God anointed witch, a witch with an anointing, a chosen one. Saying, people ask me, are you a witch? People ask me, what are you? They'll get around me and they're like, you're not normal. I know, I can see you. And I'm like, who, me? What you talking about? Sometimes. Then I'd be like, have like that knowing eye, that knowing expression, because I know I'm different. Anyone who has any sense of knowing about, spirituality or energy, they come across me, they're going to know, like, hey, you know, something's up with that dude, you know. And a lot of times people will ask me, what are you? Or they'll come up to me with like, I know you're not regular, like I know something about you. And all that happens, all that unfolds in so many different ways between people loving me or people hating me, people stalking me, people, can't help themselves but to flock to me. As soon as I walk out the door, and that's humans, that's birds, that's dogs, cats, worms, you name it. If it's outside of that front door, when I walk outside of that front door, and I'm laughing, I was smiling and everything, talking about it right now, but I pray every day in dealing with this stuff because it's like I go through so much as being anointed by God to be different, to be a chosen one. So, and I know that as many of us know, at any given time there are about 144,000 chosen ones on the planet. And that's because that's all it takes for us to shift the energy of this place. There are billions of other regular beings or billions of other beings on the planet. It only takes 144,000 of God's anointed ones to get stuff popping on this planet. And anyways, I'm at 10 minutes on this video. I've been through so much in my life, and I've been really going through. I've been feeling really alone. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not feeling like a human being surrounded by all these other human beings. Like, what am I? Because my energy, my experiences, the things that I see, the things that I hear, the things that I know, the things that I can do, the things that I move, the things that I manifest, what happens when I speak things, um, what happens when I get around people. And it's, of course, in psychology, a lot of us are aware of delusions, hallucinations, typical markers for disorders like schizophrenia, where hallucinations, people are seeing and hearing things that aren't really there. On delusions, where people believe things that are not something that a common next person would believe, things that we would say are out of touch with reality, beliefs that are not rational, they're not based on anything real. I understand to a great extent what hallucinations and delusions are, and I can assure you that the things I see are there. Oftentimes, there are things that other people will see, that one person will see, the other people don't see, and they're like, "Oh my God, you saw what I saw? How did you see what I saw? I'm the only one who sees that." And that's because God gifted me with the ability to see things. And a lot of times I'll hear things, and being clairaudient, when people speak, I can read their mind through their voice, and that's something that many of us know about. It's not hallucination, or I hear spiritual things. I hear spirits talk to me, and a lot of people would think, and I promise, I work, in psychology, in the mental health field. I'm very familiar with people believing that spirits are telling them to do things and talk to them. But it's when I'm sitting next to you and you're thinking something, and I tell you that I hear your thoughts, and I tell you what you were thinking in your mind, then it becomes like, oh well, maybe he's really definitely knows what he's talking about, because he just heard what I was thinking in my head. So it's no way that he's crazy. It's actually, what is he though? He's not crazy, because I was thinking that in my mind, and he said he heard it, and I was thinking it. So he's not making it up. But how did he do that? How did I do that is the question a lot of times now. So I'm like, God has done this. Uh, God has done this for a reason. God has placed me here for a reason, and God is telling me that I must make this YouTube channel. And I'm going to go ahead and give you some of the prophetic messages that God gave me about this YouTube channel, and then I'm going to get off, because I'm going to continue to get ready for work and everything. I have a moment that I'm going to take. There's a work camera right there, so hopefully I don't get in trouble. But uh, God has told me that He is going to make sure that I am known across the world. And now I can say that and I can communicate that. That's really hard to believe. I'm a pretty regular seeming guy. Um, I'm not a regular guy. If you meet me, you're gonna know. You're gonna feel like he's not regular. A lot of times people want me to be regular, but in experiencing me, it's pretty evident that there's something different about me. But anyways, God has told me that I must make this YouTube channel, and that this YouTube channel is going to make me famous. There are four subscribers on this channel right now. So I'm not coming from anywhere that's like tooting my horn or something. I have 4 subscribers, and the clock just said 144 when I had the 4 fingers up. I love that. I have 4 subscribers though. God tells me that this one channel with 4 subscribers is going to be famous. I have no reason to think that from my channel thus far. But I'm putting this out there. I'm going to post this video, and when, the world can see. God has told me this. God has told me this over and over and over and over and over. I'm a kid. I'm a grown man picked on as a kid. As a kid, I grew up picked on, very isolated, very ostracized. Sometimes people would touch me and go ill. Now I'm running for my life, but we'll talk about that another time. But God tells me that I'm going to make this channel. It's going to make me famous. That I came here very gifted, anointed, with special abilities that God made within me in order to be able to teach people about spirituality, teach people what it looks like to be a witch in 2023, what it looks like to be a chosen one in 2023. And what do I know about all this stuff? Not a whole lot. I know what I personally experienced. I know about magic and spirituality because of what happens in my life. I'm in my 30s right now. So, and it's been some, I've lived through some moons, and I've had a lot of things happen in my life, in my early life, where I was like, how do I explain what's going on? I was raised Christian in the Baptist church, loved it, in church every Sunday. If my siblings weren't in church, if my parents weren't in church, I was in the church house. I loved going to church. And then when I got about 25 years old, before then, between like 20 and 25, I started going through things that I couldn't explain with Christianity. I started seeing things and started hearing things and started moving things and started speaking things and started seeing other types of beings in the world, started feeling things that didn't sound like what I learned in the church. It sounded like the things that I heard of people called psychics doing, or talking about. The things that were actually happening in my life. I'm sitting in my bedroom. I'm driving down the road. I'm walking through the alley. I'm riding my bike, and I will witness these things and experience these things that only sounded like the things that psychics would talk about. And when I would tell people in my family who were religious, as chosen ones, we understand a lot about our families and who they really are. A lot of times as chosen ones, our families, they're the enemy. And that just is what it is. Not for all of us, I pray. I know, but for a lot of us as chosen ones, we're born into families and born into environments with curses that we have to break, that break us. And we are broken in the process of breaking the generational curses. And reborn, we rise up. That's been my experience. Breaking my family's generational curses broke me. Broke who I used to be. That person had to die. And a new being had to evolve from who I used to be. From that man in that video 5 years ago. A new being has emerged, and that is who I am right now. We're going to talk about it. My name is Joshua. Again, I'm going to figure out, all the little things about the channels. I want to give a big shout out to Maji. Maji got the T. I love Maji. I want to give a huge shout out to Brittany, the cosmic intuitive wifey. I love her. I want to give a huge shout out to Jordan, the chosen one. He does, we the chosen ones, baby. Jordan says, understand, understand. And I love my brother, Jordan, the chosen one. Who else? I'm going to give some shout out. I want to shout out Corey over at Intuitive Healing. I love Corey. She's in tune with the fairies. I love fairies. I want to give a shout out to who else am I really bang with? Lulu at the House of Oshun. Love you, Lulu. I want to give a shout out to okay, enough shout out now. But I've watched tarot. Check out my community page. I post a lot of the videos that I watch. I share them on the community page. And I hope Spirit is proud of me in making this first step. I'm being forced to post these videos. You know, Spirit, they're like, you have to. And it's been years. And I was hearing it when I posted that first video 5 years ago. And spiritual warfare really happened in my life in the past 5 years. You know, I've got the scars, the battle wounds, and the wisdom to prove it, the evolution to prove all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna post this video. I'm being obedient to what God has told me to do, and you all be blessed. Peace, and to the future we go.